When we start to look at new projects and we start to understand more about ourselves, of how our architecture of life starts to unfold, and we're becoming a lot more aware of it, we may be very, very surprised on how many occasions we have created compromise relating to the satisfaction of others, and feeling that we have really bent our will to the point of feeling that, well, I really don't want to let my family down, I really don't want to let my best friend down, I don't want to let my boss down, I don't want to let my co-workers down, I really don't feel comfortable in going in this area, I really don't like this path that we have chosen, but if I protest, I feel like I'm letting everybody down. If I don't do this, I feel that I'm going to disappoint a lot of people. The pressure's on. I'm really just dreading this, but I guess I just have to suck it up and I'm gonna go with it. And this is the decision that creates the path for a plan that really just makes you want to grind your teeth and feel that you've just almost became very bitter inside because you have felt that the pressure with everything else in your reality has created the unfoldment of going into a state of compromise. Now, we've all done this. We've all felt that we've had to sacrifice ourselves, that we've had to compromise our own feeling of free will, our own compromise and feeling that we really just need to suck it up, not worry about ourselves, and just let ourselves be the element for everybody else's benefit. And that's not what life is about. This is how life has been created in regards to our turmoil. That our turmoil is always going to be sparked with the idea of compromise, with the feeling that we really didn't want to do this, but we don't want to let other people down. It's a type of victimhood. It's a feeling that through so much pure pressure that we have just placed these huge weights on our shoulders and we're just ready to collapse. Because we've always had so much expectations of others. I expect you to do this, Joe. I expect you to do this, Jenny. It needs to be done at this time. Oh, you need to carry the weight of the family. You need to do this. You have to take care of that. Because if you don't, this is what's going to happen. Etc., etc., etc. There's always going to be these feelings that we have to bend ourselves to the will of others. But life is all about compatibility. It's not about compromise. It's not about sacrifice. It's about symmetry. So if we start to live in a world of compatibility and of symmetry rather than compromise and sacrifice, what does that transform into? Some people may feel, well, if this person doesn't do that, this is the collapse of the entire structure. This is the collapse of the system. And this person was meant for responsibility to do this, etc., etc. But that person really isn't responsible for that. Because that person needs to ask, why would they put another person in charge that really doesn't feel that energy to commit to this, to feel that they're moving into that level? You're not going to have high success rate, you're not going to have high value by feeling that you're dumping all of these responsibilities, these pressures on another person who does not fit the particular energy of that role. And this is what happens in business as well too. A lot of people will just throw all this stuff on this guy who just doesn't want to be there. And it's something that awareness needs to kick in. This is just as big of a topic for business owners as it is for anybody else. This is just a big of topic of people who felt that they have relied on family or relied on responsibilities of carrying on the family for this long of time and moving into this whole new idea of moving into compatibility. If you really are not satisfied with the responsibilities that you have been given, it is for you to naturally voice them and say, I'm not going to do this. I'm sorry, I can't do this. I cannot sacrifice myself to feel that we're gonna get a little bit ahead in money, or I cannot sacrifice myself to feel that I have to make a trip from the west to the east just to help somebody moving when I'm attempting to work with a business, when I'm attempting to get things off the ground. I do not feel that I need to bend my will because my partner wants all of these things out of me, to which I know I cannot give, to who I know that's not who I naturally am. We're always feeling that we don't want to let another person down. We're always feeling that if I don't do this, oh my God, is there going to be a catastrophe? Oh my God, is it going to be the worst thing that I could ever possibly imagine? If I let this person down, if I let these people down, if I let this event sink because I'm not willing to carry it. You need to listen to your heart voice, and that's the whole idea. We've moved into the era of the heart now. The idea of the physical mind, of the ego, to making it feel that it's running our reality is now starting to fade away into the mists. And now we're starting to follow the impulses that act beyond character, that act beyond personality traits, for us to move into a whole new direction that we never thought we would go. It takes such a strong confidence of knowing what the heart is telling you to follow this path. This is not something that can be developed overnight. This is something that still a lot of people who have been listening to their heart, tuning into their heart for years, are still having some trouble with. Being able to create compatibility and not compromise. So what is it about compatibility? How do we achieve compatibility? We follow our hearts. It is completely heart-directed. Your career is heart-directed. Your relationship is heart-directed. Your dedication to your family and all the ways that it can be shared is heart-directed. Your friends is heart-directed. Where you decide to go, where to travel, what to do, is heart-directed. This is the way of how you're achieving compatibility. Because the ego will get really, really confused. There'll be times where you're deciding that the heart is telling me to go here. And the ego gets so confused. What are you talking about, man? That's not you. That's not your personality. You're expecting to go into this new career when you've been doing this job your whole life. Are you insane? How much crack are you on? You know, blah, 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 blah. And of course, the ego wants to retaliate with that. And if we buy into what the ego's demands are, we go back to compromise. So you're looking at compromise in regards to the demands of the ego. You're looking at compatibility in regards to the voice of the heart. The heart is not demanding. The heart does not demand. The heart says, here it is. This is here. If you want to explore it, you're able to. You have the ability to explore this. So again, this is the big trap that we feel. So many people want to make the best case out of the feeling that, you know, well, this is in a way a compatibility with you. You just have to have the compatibility to compromise. That's a contradiction. They don't fit together. When you have compatibility, you have no argument. You have no resistance pertaining to a certain course. When you have compromise, it's all retaliation. It's all resistance. There is no symmetry relating to the feeling of compromise. I'm going to just bend my back to make a relationship work. We took our vows in marriage, you know, I really need to compromise here because if I don't, I'm letting my partner down, I'm breaking my vows. If I don't do this, if I don't do that. And you're just literally going through a continual flow of suffering over and over and over again. You have the ability to stand up, to talk to whoever it is that may be involved with this event as a co-creation and say, I just cannot do this anymore. I can't do it. I have to let this go. This is no longer my responsibility. It hasn't fit since day one. And it's been spiraling out of control since then. Because it's always been built up, blown up arguments. How could you let this down? How could you let this fail? How could you let this get completely out of control? Because I wasn't the right person for the job. I'm not the person that you think I am. And that's the key. You're not the person for this particular event. You're not the person for this endeavor. You're not the person that fits in this area of the jigsaw puzzle. You've been smashing your piece of the puzzle into this area of the jigsaw puzzle where it doesn't belong. A lot of people are not going to understand that. People are actually going to get pretty mad at you if you decide to, after all this time, decide to back away. They're going to be pissed at you. Simple as that. I know this from her first-hand experience, and it's not up to them to understand. And I understand that because this is going to cause a lot of pain. This is going to cause a lot of shifting in order for you to move from one place to another. But you can continue to live that life of pain, feeling that you have to suffer and sacrifice and compromise, or you can suck it up right now, have a bit of that short-term feeling of distress, but then starting to move into a whole new area. You need to suck it up in the point of listening to the heart. You need to go from here down to here. And this is the transformational cycle. It takes a lot of courage to be able to go to a person saying, I can't do this anymore. There's no way that this is going to happen. I'm not going to be compatible with what you want me to do. I can't compromise anymore. I've suffered too much. I can't do this anymore. This has got to change. This has got to transform. I have to leave. I have to do this. I have to do that. And that's your decision to move into a heart space. And through that lesson, the universe is teaching you. Do you see what has happened by being able to move into the heart space, by moving into compatibility? Because now you start attracting all these jobs, start attracting all these friends, start attracting maybe other members of your family that really understand you now. You're moving into a whole new environment. You're moving into a higher frequency of life. And everything starts to transform. Everything starts to beautifully blossom your way. You're now living a job, you're doing a job, and it's the most wonderful feeling in the world because now you're doing what you love in life. You have all these friends who are doing similar work with you. They love absolutely everything that you're doing. They don't hold grudges with you. It's like you have just completely shifted into a whole new earth, and you have. You've shifted into a whole new earth that represents this grand perception of the job that you love, the lifestyle that you love, the finances that are keeping you stable, the people here in your life that are making you feel so wonderful, and that you are contributing back to them as well. It's all even flow. And that's the key word. Your life is meant to be even flow. Whenever you're bending your will, whenever you know that you're not happy in whatever situation it is, any situation, relationship, career, finances, etc., whatever it is, if you're bending your will, you are not in an even flow balance. You are always going to be in great states of depression. Your health is going to decline. There's going to be a lot of consequences, so to speak, that have been created through this feeling of compromising. Compromising is never the answer in anything because it's not true to yourself. It doesn't create symmetry, it doesn't create compatibility, and you're literally enslaving yourself because of the fear of speaking out and saying that this is not who I am. I cannot do this anymore. So, this is just something to, again, ponder and decide for yourself, am I compromising too much in life? Or do I feel that I'm now ready to start living a life of compatibility? My partner is compatible, my friends are compatible, my life, my career, my job, my finances, everything is compatible. If it's not compatible, what do I feel I need to do to start walking that path of compatibility? It starts with the heart. It goes against character. It moves beyond your personality traits. It moves beyond everything that you would understand as your characteristics, as who you are as an individual. When you follow that impulse, that's the impulse of the heart, taking you into a direction, taking you into a whole new world that you never realized existed. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Brad Johnson. Feel free to check out consciousmatrix.com for a lot more great stuff, sessions, products, etc. Thank you again, and if you have any questions on this video or any other, Feel free to contact me at info@consciousmatrix.com. Take care, namaste, and may it be well with you. Goodbye.